Hello, hello, hello. How are you? This is Patricia, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the United States, more specifically in Alaska, near Palmer. I live out in the country around Palmer. Sorry you might be hearing my puppies. They like to talk to me when I go to talk to you. Isn't that the way of it? Anyway, today I believe is our next in the series, and I think this might be the last one, at least the last one that I have at this point in the Plentiful Plants series. And we are going to use both the stamps and the dies. You can see that I have many of these removed because we're about to use them. By the way, I had somebody ask me how I store these. I do put my stamps on this side, and on this side I put, there's actually, what this is a piece of plastic that goes on the top of that. Often I take it off. But I have my dies on a magnetic sheet, and if anybody's interested in those, I'll give you the information. But these, the information on the dies I put behind that so that I always know how many dies are supposed to be in here, so that I can count them at the end of the day when I go to put everything away, so that I'll know that I have it all here. Have you ever lost any because you don't know where they are? I mean, but, well, anyway. All right, right now we are in the midst of celebration. We have about 6 more weeks to go. Some fantastic stamps and dies and paper, or DSP, in this particular celebration. What celebration is if you purchase, let's say, $50 worth of product, which the stamp and die set on this one, we'll look here in just a minute and see how much that is. But if you purchase $50 worth of product, then you have a choice of the $50 items, and those are completely free. The papers, the stamps, more papers, just some amazing options this time for celebration. Then if you buy $100 worth of product, then you have the option to get some $100 stamp, and or let's see, what's the other one? That's a stamp set. Those for hosting. Where's my other $100 one? This one. This one matches one of the stamp sets that's in the book. This is a fantastic, oh my goodness, I love this. Maybe I'll do a video on that one because it's just amazing, even if you don't have the stamps. But anyway, I digress. So this is the one that we're going to look at today. It is in the annual catalog, which is, one second, on page 81. Here we go. The stamp and die bundle are $47.50, so you would add basically $2.50 to get a free stamp set to this particular item. And that's, of course, $47.50 is already with the 10% discount, so you're saving there as well. The May 2021 to April 2022 catalog. We are also in the midst of the mini catalog, which is actually, even though it says July, it's actually August to December of 2021. If you do not have a catalog, any of those, and would like one and do not already have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. Let me know you would like a catalog, and I'll be sure you get one. Now, this is not all of the DSP Designer Series paper with this particular set, but these are, now there's dies to cut out many of these. Dies to cut out, let's see, this one, many of these. Oh, and the back side. Love that paper. That could work for Christmas. It could, you know, masculine birthday, shoot, feminine birthday. Love that brick. Amazing. some more. This one, and I'm missing one page, I believe. I'm not sure which one it is. But those are the DSP for this particular suite. Okay, so you can buy the bundle or you can buy the suite. The bundle is the stamp and die set. The suite are the DSP, the stamp, the die bundle. By the way, they include that 10% discount with the suite and usually several other items. So we need now to cut our card base, and I don't always show you this, so I thought I would go. I mean, I've shown it many times and many of you probably already know how to do it, but we're going to do it again anyway. All right, on your paper trimmer, you have two, they're not cutters, but anyway, one is a cutter, one is a scorer. And so I write on mine, it's almost gone. I need to write it again with a permanent marker. Might as well do it right now. And I just write on there, score, so that whether I'm using it or somebody else is using my paper trimmer, they do not accidentally cut when they mean to score. So for now, we're going to move the score piece out of the way. I have this at 5.5. This is an 8.5 by, 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and I've got it at 5.5. That's half of 11, and I am going to cut that in half. Now, I can take this, put it in here at 4 1/4 because that is half of my 8.5, and score it. However, and that's what I've done many times. However, my personal preference is to take that out of my paper trimmer and match these corners up. Be sure that they perfectly match, and then I just sort of fold it down with my bone folder and give myself a nice crease. Okay, if you're using a really thick cardstock, you may prefer to use the scorer and score that. But now I have half of a piece of cardstock, which is the beginning of this card. And then on this one, I'm going to have an evening evergreen cardstock, which is, 4 3/4 by 3 1/8. And then the DSP, you may have noticed I showed you one of these. Did I show you this DSP? I may not have. This is the back of it. That's where my extra piece went. Too funny. This one is going to be, my DSP is 4 1/4 by 3, which means it is just an 1/8 of an inch smaller than my base piece. And so I am going to put this on that base of my evening evergreen. Hello, come on. Hello. Okay, if it won't come out, you can take your, there we go. And there we go. Well, my goodness, what is the deal here? I never have trouble when I'm not videotaping. If you ever do that, you want to be perfect, you're in front of the boss or something, and all of a sudden you can't do it. All right, so put that on there. Because I have tape, I want to be sure that I get it on there as exact as I can before I press on it. So make sure it's all there and then press. And you'll notice I sort of looked at it before I put the DSP on there. I measured it to make sure that it matched, because I don't want to get my tape on there and then discover it doesn't fit. Okay, so then I'm going to put this piece on my card base, and again I'm using liquid glue because, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this up. I'll come back to that. Just a little bit into that corner, like that. Okay, and I'll show you why I'm going to do that here in just a minute. Whoops, you know what? I do have a second to move that, and it was not perfectly aligned. There we go. All good. Okay, cardstock against cardstock, and if I'm doing cardstock, the evening evergreen is cardstock, the basic white is cardstock. So when I'm doing those, then I use my liquid glue. When I am using DSP or designer series paper against cardstock, I often use the seal because I don't want it to have a ridge piece of glue. So I wanted to do You Are an Inspiration as my sentiment. I could have done Thank You for Your... No, I like You Are an Inspiration. So I'm pulling this out of the Dragonfly Garden. You know, you don't always have to stick with the exact same set. Now on this one, I probably should use my evening evergreen. I'm going to go ahead with Memento. So I'm going to get it in my glue, in my ink. Hello, I did have a piece of, oh well, we'll use this. There we go. I like to test and make sure that I've got a good impression, and I am going to put, so you want to go straight down, you're not rocking and rolling, straight down, hold it for a second, and lift straight up. Alright, yeah, I like that black, that works nice. This is Memento Tuxedo Black. So, now I need to put together my pieces, and, oh goodness, excuse me. I have shown you before where I stamped a whole bunch of these, and then I die cut them out all at once. I stamped a whole bunch of these and die cut them out. Whoops. I did that with several of them. So I already have some of these die cut out, but we're going to put those aside for a moment. I'm putting them on the card so I don't lose them, because I still need to do some die cutting. I already did those two. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I do need to get my garden green. I thought I had that out. But I did not. But that's okay. That's okay. I just go get it. So here's my garden green, and I'm going to stamp this. Now you'll notice here that this doesn't exactly fit on there, but what I want on it is the bottom. So I want to put the top of this, if any of it's going to be off of my scrap, I want the top to be off. Okay, so you see what I mean? The scrap is too small for the stamp, but I don't really care because I'm not going to be able to see the top of this once I've die cut it out anyway. So I'm going to die cut that out here in just a moment. Let's see, what else do I need? I think that's it. Everything else we are just going to cut out. So I'm going to pull over my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to pull out the wings. I've got base plate 1, cutting plate 2, and do not cut plate also 2. And I'm going to put this on here. Can you see it? Yep. Okay. Line it up. Again, it's going to be off the top. I don't care. It's not going to matter because the design that I have for this particular card, you won't be able to see that anyway. All right, there is that piece. There we go. Don't want to lose my die, so I'm going to put it aside. Now, I'm going to put this on here. Put that about there, and I've got these two. So this is Evening Evergreen, and this piece of cardstock is garden green. Okay, I'm going to line those up on there. Notice they're just little tiny scraps. So it's using up some of that paper, that cardstock, that I have just around. Don't want to lose pieces. Oh, whoops. Where did that piece go? I just cut it. Oh, here it was. It was cut out in the garden green. All right. So I have my garden green pot, and that pot, and this pot. There we go. And okay, I think that's all the pieces I need. Now these have finally gotten small enough that I think I'll throw those away. All right, so this one still has some good use in it. I'm going to hold it aside. So put up my mini. This is the mini. Love the mini. It's not that I don't love the standard size Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because of course I do, but I love the mini because it's so nice and small and you can travel easily with it. And I am a tour guide here in Alaska, so I really travel quite a bit. All right, let's pull all of our parts and pieces to get our aside. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and sort of lay out what's going to go with what. Those are going to go there. This will go here, and you've seen me use this one before. Sometimes I slip it in the little slot, and sometimes I just put it behind. Doesn't matter, whichever you prefer. And then I've got my little piece here, and I'm going to put that on there. Whoa! Or in that pot. In this pot, I'm going to put this, and then I'm going to do a little bit of surgery on this. I think you've seen me do this before as well. And we're just going to cut this in half. One thing that I want you to remember is you do not at all have to always use every piece the way it was designed. You are more than welcome to be your own artist and put it together however it works for you. All right, so I'm going to have my little garden here, and I want my Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to pull off a couple of those, and you've seen me do this pot before. I put these on the bottom so that I have room at the top to stick things underneath. I'm going to pull off my dimensionals, and I'm going to put it somewhere like here. You know what I want to do is make sure I've got enough room. Okay, there we go. Okay, put that about there. And then I'm going to put this in the back, and it will kind of, yeah, I think I want it like that. So I'm just going to put this one flat on the back. So I'm going to get myself some liquid glue. This is Tombow Mono liquid glue. And slip that in there. And I'm going to angle it a little bit so that I can see this on either side, like that. And then I'm going to put these two in, and I'm going to put the larger one in the back. And so I'm going to go ahead and put some liquid glue on that as well. And slip it back there. Can you see me? Okay, there we go. And then this one is going to go in the front, and on this one I am going to put some dimensionals. So I'm going to put a dimensional on that big leaf, and then I'm going to cut, fling it across the room, right? I'm going to cut a dimensional in half. I could use mini dimensional, but truthfully, whatever works. Come on, get off of my finger. And split that in half. One will go on this leaf, and one will go on this leaf. Now, sometimes if you have trouble, you can push in the middle of that, and it pushes the release paper up a little bit so that you've got something to grab. Okay, and slip that in there. Now, you will notice, or if you haven't noticed, I'll tell you, I did this, put the 3-leafed plant in Evening Evergreen and the 5-leafed plant, which you only see 4 leaves in here, in Evening Evergreen before I cut those out. Then I'm going to take this little dude and I'm just going to put, I do not want to put my dimensional where those dots are. I want to put it down below that. So there we go. Take my paper off and I'm going to put it, you know what? I'm going to come just a little bit down below like that so that it sort of pulls your eye this way. And for this one, I'm going to put this little guy, and again, I'm going to put some liquid glue. And you'll notice how this one sort of pops up. I'm going to kind of do that on the rest of them. Give them a little bit of depth and dimension. There we go. Glue that one down. And now we've got this one. And you've seen my trick before on the silicone mat. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down there, use my sponge, and put some glue on it. Like that. There we go. And put that, then, I really should have put the glue just at the top, but that's okay, on my pot. Line it up. It's going to poke out a little bit, but I'm really not worried about it. If it does worry you, you could always snip it off. Doesn't bother me at all. All right, and then we're going to do dimension. Well, I need that in a second. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of that again. And just be sure I do not put them. You can see that. See how you can see that? So I'm just going to trim it off a little bit. There we go. Now you can't see it. Okay. And there, peel my backings off. I started to say, be sure you can't see that. And then I did it as I was saying it. Okay. There we go. We're going to put this behind there and this in front of that. And this one, I don't think I'll put either one of them up on dimensionals. I will just, come on, come out of it. There we go. Got a little extra glue, so I'm just going to use my other piece and grab some and put those behind. Got a full-grown garden there. You gotta love that, right? All right, there we go. And there's my card. You are an inspiration. I think I might have done this in the Evening Evergreen, but that's okay. It does just fine. I love this card. I love this entire stamp and die bundle. It's just, you know, gardening kind of things. Even if we're not good at gardening, most of us like gardening or like the results thereof, at least. All right, let's use one of the, well, hello. Let's use this, by the way, is the 2021-2023 in color jewels. And I'm going to go ahead and go with the Evening Evergreen. And one there. I'm going to put a large one down here by my sentiment. And then one, I'm going to use another small one. And you can see that there are two different sizes of them. And you'll notice how it's sort of a triangle that draws your eye around the card and helps you look at all the things that are on there, kind of thing. All right, looks good, huh? All right, that's another card. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you learned a little bit, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And then below that is the subscribe button. If you have not already subscribed, I would love it if you would do that. And then ring the bell beside that subscribe button so that you can get notifications anytime I post a new video. Thank you so much. Have a great evening wherever you are. Here is some of my contact information. I hope you can see that. And if you would like to place an order, this is the current host code, but I always post that on Facebook. So if you need to check out what the current host code is, there you go. And that will help you earn some points from me, and I give prizes and all that kind of stuff with that. So have a great evening. If you need more information, please feel free to leave me a message. I'll be more than happy to answer. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.